What we do with our private land has more impact on the vitality of the public realm than anything government can do. I took down my own front fence, a sculpture garden, putting a drinking fountain for people going past, a book library, etc. And that was so well received that I decided that, considering my backyard faced onto a bike track, I would turn that into a public park. And here we are. What it gives back to me is a million times greater than what I've put into it. And I think that's what a lot of people miss, is it's the most sensible thing you could ever do. My name's David Engwicht. I was born in Dalby. My dad then became an itinerant gospel preacher, so we travelled all over southeast Queensland in a caravan and a gospel truck. New school every few weeks, so I was the perpetual outsider. Then I moved to Brisbane to start my apprenticeship when I was 16, and I've been here more or less ever since. I was cleaning windows for a living in 1987 when the highway department decided to widen the road just out here. I became involved in the community group that was set up to fight that proposal, and that was what got me first interested in urban design and the impact that urban design has on community life. I wrote a little book that took off all over the world as part of our campaign. Next thing, I was travelling the world as some kind of guru on community development, urban design, transport. And then I decided to stop being a theoretician and actually start to create great public spaces. The very first thing I did was take down the fence. Then I changed the levels and blurred the boundary between the footpath and my front yard, so you could no longer tell where one began and the other ended. I had the idea of columns as part of looking at like some ancient ruins. Some people think they're Greek columns, but if you look carefully, you know, they've got more of an Asian feel to them than a classical Greek feel or whatever. So this backyard was just a weed patch. In fact, I've got letters from the council telling me that if I didn't fix it up within 2 weeks that I'd get a fine. So I was pretty poor at looking after my own backyard.
Oh, it's a rickety one.
Very first thing I did, even before I built the deck, is I built the steps from the bike track up, and people going past were going, "Oh my God, are you inviting us to come in?" And I said, "Absolutely." This is called Savosity Park. We're actually on Google Maps now. Savosity is a name I invented some time back, and it was a combination of civility and generosity. And when I'd built the park, my daughter said to me, "Dad, you need to give it a name." And she said, "Why don't you call it Savosity Park?" And I went, "Well, that's perfect. You know, it's about civility and it's about generosity."
Didn't really know whether or not it was something that would be embraced by the community. It's a bit of an unusual idea, using private land for public good. You can hear kids laughing constantly. You can hear kids splashing in the water, families enjoying it, bike riders stopping to have a rest. It actually gives me a sense of pride and joy, knowing that this is something that David's done for no other reason other than to give back to the community.
I've had visitors at 1 o'clock in the morning. It's different cohorts at different times of the day, you know, so mornings tends to be grandparents and young toddlers.
I actually think it's even more beautiful at night time because everything's uplit. It's kind of like got that magical fairy feel to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Early evening might be somebody bringing their international visitor down with a bottle of wine and some cheese. And then later in the evening, it's young people. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll be, you know, I have one of the high school students who calls in almost every afternoon on his way home from school.
Hello.
Aidan, great to see you.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah.
Your creek is really amazing. I've always loved creeks and waterways, and I've always planted one in my garden, so this one's really lovely, and all the landscaping you've done around it as well.
So the fern trees I actually planted about 8 years ago, and I just plonked them into the weed patch because I love fern trees. Some of them died as I wasn't really looking after them. The rest of the plants, I just went to a nursery and I'd read the label, you know, like sunny or shady, and it's all experimentation. I'd probably lose 50% of what I plant because it's the wrong thing in the wrong spot. I'm a great example of what can be achieved by a very, very novice gardener. I'm a great believer that design should evolve rather than be master planned. So this fence came about when an artist arrived one day and said, "What can I do to help?" So I hadn't planned to do anything with the fence, but we sat down and we designed this mural together. And then other artists have since come along and donated things like the bee. I got inspired to make the tree that's carved out of polystyrene and then coated with a concrete render. So it's another one of those things in the garden that was never ever planned. It just spontaneously happened. This is my latest project. The cubby house deck will get extended along. We'll put some seats under the mushrooms and hopefully this will be another little magic space for kids to come. I'm going to build a bridge to here because kids will then be able to have a little mini circuit here across the two bridges.
He is an exceptional artist. Everything he does is self-taught, whether it be the carpentry work, the sculptural work, the painting work. All of it is skills that he has learned and adapted for this particular space. I feel so lucky to be a part of it.
We can all take responsibility for creating that sense of community that we all hanker for. Put a couple of pot plants out, create a little sitting nook. If you're an artist, do some art, whatever it happens to be, but rehumanise the space in front of your house and send the message that community matters, neighbourhood matters.